Hi, I'm Emily Neuberger, and I am the author of A Tender Thing. This is what I'm reading. The first book I'm reading is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. I don't normally read a lot of science fiction, and I decided to get more into it in quarantine, and I'm so glad I did, because this is a completely brilliant novel. It's about a human emissary who travels to a planet called Winter to make an alliance with the inhabitants there, and the inhabitants' genders change based on where they are in their reproductive cycle. So the society is really made up of people who understand what it is to perform both gender roles and the peace that happens when people are not slotted into one role or the other. I found the novel incredibly arresting and really moving at the end, and really applicable to themes that we're talking about right now in the world, and just gender politics and also forming alliances across differences. It's a really, really brilliant book. Highly recommend. The second book that I am reading in quarantine is Giovannis Room by James Baldwin. This is actually a reread for me, and it is one of my absolute favorite books. And look how short it is. I read this the first time when I was studying in Paris in college, and it's about a love affair between two men in Paris. And it hit me really differently this time. They continue to meet in the character Giovanni's room, his apartment in Paris, and the threats to their love get greater and greater outside of that room. And considering I am stuck in one room, I found it resonant in a different way than ever before. But I think Baldwin is an incredible fiction writer, and his novels never cease to amaze me, and this is my absolute favorite one. It's so romantic and tragic and beautiful, and the sentences are great, and you can read it in a day if you wanted to. The third book I'm reading is The Seas by Samantha Hunt. A friend recommended me this a couple days ago, and she said it was completely beautiful, and I just finished it and I agree. It is just everything I like in fiction, where you really feel like you're crawling inside someone else's body. It's about a woman who lives in a fishing village very far north who's seen a lot of tragedy and a lot of heartbreak, and there's just something about the writing that's so arresting and visual and beautiful, and you don't really know, there's some magic in the book, you're not really sure where the lines of reality fall, and it's not like anything I've ever read before. Also, I love reading about water and the imagery of being by the seaside right now when I'm stuck in a very hot apartment in Brooklyn. A completely gorgeous book, The Seas by Samantha Hunt. My final recommendation is for A Tender Thing by me. This book follows Eleanor O'Hanlon, who's a young woman who moves from Wisconsin to New York to audition for a Broadway musical in 1958. And she is cast in the beginning Broadway tryouts of a new musical called A Tender Thing, which is the first fully interracial musical on Broadway about a love story between a white woman and a black man. I wrote this about Broadway musicals, which are my first love, and the turmoil that was happening in the Broadway community at the dawn of the Civil Rights Movement at the end of the 50s, right before the tumult of the 60s. I am very, very sad that Broadway is not able to be open right now or perform, and I don't know when it's going to come back, and it's one of the things I miss most about the city. And if you feel the same way I do, then you might enjoy reading about Broadway shows, even if you can't see them. A Tender Thing by me, Emily Neuberger.